right, I think I have everything you need for a solar setup for a cabin like this. Oh, here, let me show you what I have. Okay, the heart of this thing is the Thunderbolt Magnum. It's a 100-watt solar panel kit that I got from Harbor Freight. There's probably 100,000 videos about them. This isn't a review about this system necessarily. I'm just going to set it up. This is the first time I've ever set up a solar kit of any sort, of any kind. So this is all new to me. I've just done a lot of reading and I've done a lot of watching videos on the matter. YouTube's a great spot. So that's where this thing starts, and from there I have a battery that goes with the kit. It doesn't go with it, I should say. It's recommended. And then I did get way overkill, probably a 1500 watt inverter, and then I got the right wire, 2 gauge to the battery, and ground wire. They both hook up to the inverter. And then I have some light bulbs. I showed you some of this stuff in an earlier video. Of course, that was a lot earlier, and I think I had maybe 7 views. I don't know. My electrical components are in there. My crimps and everything else I need for that. Sconce for the wall. This is going to run off of the inverted power. And I got some hinges because what I'd like to do eventually is hook up those solar panels on a framework so that I can fold against the cabin. I know, again, there's been several videos, several different recommendations. I'm just going to do a hybrid and do a little bit of common sense and see what works, because the stand that comes with it, not impressive. Very wobbly. It gets windy up here, and we have to make sure this thing is stable. As they say, someone once said, let's get to work. As I mentioned in an earlier video, the controller is going to be mounted on the wall here. Battery, I'm going to put in the corner and maybe in a box. I'm going to put a shelf up here for the inverter. This is all basically a long extension cord that's hooked up to an inverter. This is the male side of the plug-in that I am going to run on this wire. So this is basically the end of my extension cord. And what I did is I went ahead and spliced a 3-way splice, used wire nuts, taped them. That is basically a Y in an extension cord. One leg goes this way for the 3 plugins and a light, and the other one goes around the corner. I'm not sure why I did a double gang box here, but I did. So I got one here, and then we have one over there under the window. So these extension cord ends, they hook up just like a light fixture would. So I don't think there's anything, any rocket science about that. Just hook up hot to hot and negative to negative. Here's what the insides look like. Just like a receptacle, there's a silver and a gold and a green. Green is always ground, gold is always hot, silver is always neutral. And it looks like you don't have to loop the wire, you just push them in there and tighten down the screw. Don't forget to feed this end in first before you hook up your wires. Like I almost did. Okay, that's nice and tight. Now I'm gonna tighten the clamp down here. Voila, we have an extension cord built into the wall. And this is long. I'm gonna leave this long. I'm not sure how long, 100%, because I still have to put my little shelf here for the inverter. And this is just gonna plug right in there. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is build a battery box. That's gonna fit right into the corner. This is a smaller than average size battery. It's just a little one that came recommended with the kit, like I mentioned earlier. But this is smaller than average if I want to go get a bigger normal size battery. So I'm going to build a bigger box. Actually, it's going to be big enough to fit 2 of these in, or a full size deep cycle battery. Okay, here's my floor. And these are my walls. I'm going to try to screw these in without countersinking because this is, it's kind of soft. So let's see what we have. Alright, that look like a battery box? Okay, now I need a lid. Okay, I just have to fasten this lid together and then we're good to go. Is it perfect? Nope. Not at all. These are actually going to be at the bottom of the lid and this is going to sit inside the box. So I just have to make sure that we have more than 1 inch all the way around, which we do. Every lid should have a handle, right? These holes are very close to the end of the board, so that's why I'm countersinking these. Look at that. I think the next thing I'm going to do is build a shelf somewhere around here, as long as we're under 36 inches, because we're going to have a countertop about 36 inches, and it's going to wrap around about to right here. So I want that shelf and the inverter to be under there and plenty of room for ventilation. Okay, so here are the shelf brackets. And I cut these out so I could run the wires right through it and make sure these holes are big enough to fit not only the wire but the fitting as well. So the top has these holes to correspond with these holes to allow the wire to go through once this is screwed on. Okay, see these little slats I cut? That's going to be for the wires coming into the box. One here going to the charge controller, and one here, 2 here, going to the inverter. Okay, those are good to go. I'm gonna put a few more holes around the bottom of it and on the lid as well, in the lid, just for ventilation. I'm going to sink a couple of screws through the floor of this into the floor of the cabin, so stop this thing from rocking around. I did leave enough space for baseboard and ventilation. So I'm going to hook this up to the inverter and see how much length we need here. Okay, that'll work out well. You can see the wire going in that slot there, which is what I want. So now I just have to cut this off to length. Let's put some tape on it just in case. You know, I think I have this thing hooked up. The inverter is hooked to the battery with the mandatory 2-gauge wire, which is a pain in the you-know-what to work with. Not exactly flexible. So that's hooked up positive to positive. Ground, that will go into the ground. So I am going to test this out. Maybe I should put the ground on first. Do I need to put the ground on first? Yeah, let's put the ground on first. Okay, here's the ground wire. So what I did is I ran that ground wire through the floor and I connected it to the bolt on the bracket that goes into the pier block, the concrete that I poured. So that bracket is actually connected to rebar down below, which goes about 4 feet into the ground. So that's a good ground. So I'm gonna hook this thing up and then we're gonna flick a switch and see if we can get a light bulb to work. I'm gonna install the light fixture and I'm gonna install the 2 outlets just so we can have one continuous circuit. Speaking of, I have a bunch of wires in here. Hopefully oh, look at that. Somebody thought ahead. Too light. I'm not an electrician. If anyone's doing this in their home, especially if you're on the power grid, please don't do what I do. Do your own research and do what you need to do. I did wire the cabin, the main cabin down below, many moons ago, and of course the inspector had to sign off on that, so it was good to go. An electrician probably will cringe at this, and say, no, you need to use this tool for this tool for this, and whatnot. But I will get by. Outlet, receptacle, plug-in. What do you call it? Gold is hot, silver neutral, ground. And I am going to hook it directly to these screws you see right there. And wiring, black is hot. You probably knew that though, right? Black on black, that will continue the circuit down the line. Should have done this earlier. I was going to wrap this up just so that little end doesn't poke into anything it's not supposed to. Okay, so for the light switch wiring, they don't even have a neutral. We're just gonna splice those together in the box. This is the terminal that goes to the light. So that's off position is down. So we're going to splice in the power source and the outlet both into this one as well. So that way the outlet always works. Otherwise, if we put the outlet on this nut right there on this screw, then the outlet would only work when the light is on, which we don't want that. Okay, next is a light fixture. I made this light fixture out of aircraft aluminum from a wreckage I found while I was hiking the Himalayas. I'm kidding. Box store, but I'm going to wire this thing up there and see if this all works out. Okay, let's check this out. Switch is off. New light bulb is in there. We have a continuous circuit. Everything is grounded. Hot is hooked up to the positive in the battery. Negative to negative. Let's plug this thing in, see what happens. Okay, according to directions, this is off. This is my extension cord. Plug this in. Now, if something blows up when I hit this red button, just let me know. I have a green light. So we should be hot. Let's check it out. Ready? Here we go. Oh, we have light. Okay, I have a plan. Hey, I'll show you. All right, I am going to screw these panels onto two 2x6s. So here are the holes that came with the kit. They came with that little bar right there to hold all four together. But I am going to screw them to a 2x6 on the top, 2x6 in the bottom. I'm going to drape it right beneath the window. Works out well. Because of this, I don't know if you can see that, this is actually in farther than this is. So I'm going to have to take a board like that and tuck it up under the window. And that's what I'm going to attach my hinges to. cutting a bevel on this piece of wood right here because this is the one that's going tight up against the bottom of the window. And I'm just playing the rain as much as I can. Okay, well, let's put up that panel. If you want to grab that end over there. Okay, fine. I'll do it. How should I do this? I know. I'm just going to set it up against these. Temporarily screw into the face until I get that snug. And then I'm going to go underneath it and drive some longer screws home. Hopefully it all works out. And I don't break anything. I just got to get it off the ground about a foot. All right, let's see if those two boxes are tall enough. Here goes nothing. Look at that, huh? Okay, it's attached temporarily. Now what I'm going to do is put in longer screws in through the hinges so that I can get into both boards. What am I doing? Oh, just drilling a hole in a perfectly good wall. Oh no, I didn't want to hit a stud. Okay, I'm right next to it. Okay, I'm gonna angle it. insulation. Okay, let me know when you see it. All right. I see you. Ah, look at that. It's a round hole. We're gonna be able to get wire through there. I have a lot of excess wire out here, but I don't want to cut it. So I'm gonna fish it all. I'll probably put it all in a small box or something underneath this countertop we're gonna have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fish one through at a time, and then when I get one, I'm gonna tape the next one to it, to the cord, and see if I can just keep pulling. So wish me luck. Ah, I see it. There it is. I think I'm close. I'm gonna go in and see if I can grab it from the other side with something. I don't know. Okay, that didn't work. Plan B. Do you know what plan B is? Okay, I'm gonna make a feeding tube. Feeding tube? That doesn't sound right, does it? All right, you'll see. Figure this out one way or another. There you go. Just something to add some stiffness to it. See if this works. We know it's gonna work. Oh, look at that. I think it worked. All right, I'm gonna go pull it through from the other side. Tell me if this moves. Success. Okay, now I'll take the next one in line. So. See that? I think that's gonna work just fine. Get it started in this hole. You should see that disappear pretty soon. So far, so good. Now the test is going to be, will 4 wires fit through that hole? What do you think? All right. Ooh, it's getting tighter. That was snug, but we made it. Okay, last but not least. Okay. It's like pushing a cigar through there now. All right, we can do this. Success! Look at that. That's what we want. Nothing will get bound up. Plenty of space. I'm going to tack this down. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Okay. Well, we just about have this outside wrapped up. I'm real happy with it so far. Have all the wires tucked up. Have some wire staples, just keeping things together. Nice and tidy. Caulk the hole. Keep the critters out. All right, let's go inside and plug it in. Before I forget, I'm gonna caulk this hole. But before I caulk the hole, I want to staple everything tight to the wall so nothing moves and ruins the caulk. And again, this is going to have a countertop sitting, well, actually right about here. Looks good. Let's plug this thing in. Okay, you ready? Moment of truth. Hook the battery up first. All right, 12.6 volts. That's without the solar panels. Let's plug this in and see what difference it makes. Instantly, 13, 13.1, 13.2. Hey, it's working. Oh, I'm excited. We are at maximum solar production right now. Well, heck, let's just power this thing up as well. Look at that, green light. We're ready, rocking and rolling. What's that sound? Power! This thing, I think, is 2 amps. I'm not an electrician, so that's more than 1 amp. That was fun. We're set up. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna make my own wall plates, my own cover plates, if you will. You know, because the ones from the store are so expensive. They're at least 37 cents a piece or some ridiculous thing. So I'm gonna make my own cover plates, and I still have to figure out a good kickstand for the solar panels out there. I haven't 100% wrapped my mind around it. I have a couple of options I'm thinking about. I'll let you know. So next time, I want to get these floors done once and for all. And then once we get the floors done, then we finish the baseboard and finish the trim and yeah, still have a few little things left, but this thing's coming along. I'm getting excited. Well, thanks for watching Life on the Moose. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It really does. And hey, if you ever have an opportunity to buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere and build your own cabin, please do it because you'll never regret it. All right, I'll see you next week.